So we're going to be replacing the sacrificial anode rod inside my hot water heater. Both gas and electric water heaters have these. The purpose is so that these sacrificially corrode before your tank does, so it prolongs the life of the tank. There are different recommendations. Some people say change them every year. I would say every 3 to 5 years change these. We'll see how bad my old one is when I pull it out. It's about 5 years old. So there are different varieties, usually aluminum or zinc. This one's nice because it's flexible, because as you can see I don't have that much room above the water heater to get a new one straight in. I might have to cut the old one while taking it out. But we're going to set the stage first, so a couple things. So first we want to turn off the power. So if you have an electric hot water heater, unplug it. If you have a gas like mine, you can turn the valve. So it was facing this way, I turned it down to turn off the gas. Then we're going to come up here, so there will be 2 lines. So what you want to do is turn off the cold line, so you can kind of feel them and feel which one's hotter. And once you figure out which one is the cold line, we're going to turn that off. Maybe the other, there we go. So we've got that's our incoming line, the cold line, so that's off. And now we want to go to some faucets in the house and run the hot water, which is pulling from the hot water heater. That way we relieve some of the pressure. So we're going to run that just for a bit. Should eventually, you can tell it's losing pressure as it's not gaining new water. It's not pressurized from the city. What we want to do next is drain a bit of water. So you just don't want it to spill out. So what we're going to do is all hot water heaters will have a drain down here. So we're going to attach a hose and then turn this valve to allow some of the water to drain out. We could just fill buckets. I might wash my car real quick with the excess water that's coming out. So we'll drain some of the water so we can get to work. If you look at the top of the water heater, sometimes it might be covered by a little cap like this, which you can pry off with a screwdriver. And sometimes there might be insulation, but mine does not have it. So you can see right there, it's a 1 1/16 inch socket. So we're just going to break that. I've got a pretty large socket set for this. After a bit more effort than I'd like to admit, I broke it with a big breaker bar. So you can see here's my old rod, a little bit gross, and so it won't come all the way up. And rather than trying to lower my hot water heater, I'm going to try to cut this. So I'm going to get a vice grip to kind of hold it so I don't lose the bottom end and cut above the vice grip. So I've got it clamped off with vice grips, I've got my angle grinder, and we're going to cut this a little bit above the vice grips. So using a rag to protect the hole so any debris from the cutting doesn't get into the water heater. Here's my old rod in both pieces. That's the great advantage of this flexible one. I can get this one in super easy. First we're going to take a rag and clean the lip where it threads in, and then we're going to put some Teflon tape or pipe dope on the threads here to make sure that they don't get too corroded. And then we'll peel off this sticker and drop it in. An air compressor with a little blow adapter to blow all the metal shavings off here, and also close that up so I don't get anything in. Now, like I said, I've got some Teflon tape. I'm just going to wrap some around here and then put this bad boy in, get it pretty tight, and then watch for leaks and tighten it more if I need to. Let it refill. I turned on a faucet, let the air bleed out. I looked for leaks, didn't see any, so I installed the cap back. You could spray new insulation if you wanted to. And now maybe it's a good time also to just flush your hot water heater while you're here, and then we'll turn back on either the electricity or the gas, and then we're done. Take a Sharpie and write on the hot water heater when I changed it, just in case to help someone in the future.